Soba, let's learn soba. Soba in Japanese refers to both the buckwheat grain and the grey sticky noodle made out of those grains. They are sold both cheap at fast food railway restaurants and also at high upper class expensive restaurants. Due to its high thiamine content, soba is very popular in Japan as their most commonly eaten white rice lacks this vital B vitamin. Soba is traditionally eaten on New Year's Eve in most places in Japan, a tradition called toshikoshi soba. There are many types of soba noodles in the world, and this depends on the ratio of wheat and buckwheat flour used to make the noodles, or it contains other added ingredients. The amount of buckwheat in the soba noodles can vary from 40 to 100%, and this gives the noodles their characteristic dark color and rich nutty taste. Nihachi, which means 2 and 8, consists of 2 parts wheat and 8 parts buckwheat flour. Juwari soba, which means 10 cuts, is the finest of all soba varieties, consisting entirely of buckwheat flour, and it's usually the most expensive one because of the price of buckwheat is more than wheat. The most famous Japanese soba noodles come from a location called Nagano in Japan. Soba from Nagano is either called Shinsu soba or Shinano soba. They are literally the best soba noodles. I've been there, it's nothing beats it, no. There are many ingredients which can be added into the soba mixture during the production to add different flavors and colors. For example, sobacha is green noodles with added green tea powder. Hegi soba is flavored with seaweed. Inaka soba, which means country soba, is made using whole grain buckwheat. It is very chewy, very nice. Jinenja soba is flavored using yam flour, a type of sticky mouli type vegetable in Japan. Mugi soba is flavored with mugwort. Sarashina soba is thin, light colored soba noodles made using refined buckwheat flour. Roasted buckwheat kernels can be made into teas called sobacha. Buckwheat hulls called sobagara are used to fill certain pillows. Sometimes beer is made with added roasted buckwheat kernels called soba ale. Funny fact, yakisoba, a commonly eaten stir-fried Asian noodle dish in the West, is traditionally made using chuka soba noodles, which contains egg and, funnily enough, no buckwheat grains. Why call it yakisoba? It literally means burn soba with no soba. Nutrition! Soba consists of about 12 to 15% protein, of which with 8 essential amino acids including lysine, which is lacking in most cereal grains such as wheat. Buckwheat also contains lipids, the mineral iron, phosphorus, copper, and vitamin B1 and B2. Buckwheat is also very high in rutin and contains choline. I hope I pronounced that correctly. You probably know what I'm going to recommend already, but here it goes. I recommend Clear Spring 100% buckwheat soba noodles. This contains only buckwheat and it's my favourite if you're a hardcore buckwheat guy like me. Or if you're scared of complete buckwheat and you still want to mix in a bit of wheat, then go for the Clear Spring Organic Soba Noodle with about 40% buckwheat to 60% wheat ratio. Now, I don't only recommend these noodles because they're from Clear Spring and they're organic and they taste brilliant, but unlike other Asian noodles out there in the market, these noodles actually come from Japan. It's made in Japan. They are not some cheap fake Japanese alternative noodles. They are real soba noodles.